Good morning, lunatics. Welcome to Morning Java. Morning Java brought to you, as always, John, by our good friends at the Get-Go Cafe and Market, where right now you are in luck because I hear you are a big fan of the mushroom Swiss burger, or your wife is.
No, I am.
You are. And they've got a good one, right?
But she gave me bad news. A chain that we won't name is discontinuing its mushroom and Swiss burger.
It's like kind of like...
So, Get-Go, very smart, very savvy. They're jumping into the mushroom Swiss market to fill that void, and I'm looking forward to having one very soon.
Swooping in among their many juicy burgers.
Absolutely.
We saw a juicy home run for the first time by Gregory Polanco this season.
Yeah, and he hit it pretty well. And, he's still kind of feeling his way back. He missed the first few weeks of the season. I know he was in the minor leagues for most of the first few weeks, I should say, down in Bradenton in the Florida State League, then in AAA with Indianapolis. But, like you said, his shoulder's still not all the way back to where it is, and he's still rebuilding strength. But I think you've seen him hit the ball harder here the last few days. Even his outs have been harder, more line outs, things of that nature. And I think, it's just going to take some time, but he was clearly excited to hit that first home run.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen really the repercussions of the arm strength where he's not able to get the ball in as effectively, but people don't think about how that does affect you at the plate, or how the limited mobility or whatever you want to call it. I mean, you got to get that back too.
Yeah, and he's like he said there's not pain really. He said maybe 2% of his swings he feels pain. He said, but it's just a little weak. He doesn't feel like he has as much oomph, for lack of a better word, behind his swing at times. And that'll come. And he said even in the 2 weeks he's been up in the big leagues, it was 15 days ago now that he got activated, he said even in those 2 weeks he's beginning to feel stronger, and it's just going to take time. I mean, I know people don't want to hear that sometime, but you're just going to have to be patient with the guy. He had major surgery.
He was happy, I'll tell you that. They celebrated in the dugout like it was Marte hitting the walk-off the other night. When the moon hits your eye like a...
big pizza pie.
We didn't hear that.
No.
For the first time that I can remember since Francisco Cervelli has been a Pirate.
He snuck in new walk-up music on the off day. There's an off day Monday between Sunday's game with the A's and the game here with the Rangers on Tuesday night. He snuck in a walk-up song, didn't tell anyone, apparently told the sound system people, or they wouldn't know what to play. But yeah, and somebody asked him about that on opening day here, the home opener, said, would he ever consider changing the song? And he said, no, the fans will kill me if I do that. But I guess when you're hitting 174, you got to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, if they're going to kill you for different reasons. I mean, this feels to me like a stereotypical hockey move, right?
Yeah,
this is a hockey move. These are guys who... They come to the ballpark, they have a routine, they don't like to break it. That song has played every time he's come up to bat that I can think of it as a Pirate, and all of a sudden it changes. He made real good contact on his first swing, on his first at bat, lined out, but then he wore one. He got on base another time.
He's starting to slowly but surely come out of it. He's still under 200, but, he's hitting the ball better. I mean, even his outs are better. A lot of times the first few weeks of the season were a lot of weak ground outs and pop-ups. He at least seems to be hitting the ball better. And as Clint Hurdle said more than once this season, when Francisco's at his best, he's working counts. He's taking a lot of pitches. He's working the count to deep, 2-2, 3-2, 3-1. And he really wasn't doing that for a while. You could tell he was jumpy at the plate. He was swinging at more first pitches. I don't have the data to back this up, but it seemed to me, at least with the naked eye, that he was swinging at a lot of first pitches. And usually that's a sign of a guy who's pressing, trying to get out of a slump. And he is starting to get better. He dug a pretty big hole with the average. But he's starting to get there.
Look, I'm not ready to blame Dean Martin,
no.
But if it'll prevent them from renaming it the Cervelli line, I think maybe stick with the new song for a bit.
And Dean's not here to defend himself anyway.
He's not, unfortunately. A couple of guys in the Pirates pitching staff who maybe haven't always had the best relationship with the fans, we'll say. A couple of guys that the fans will say, hey, could they do better than Steven Brault and Michael Felice?
Yeah.
Both pitched pretty well today.
They did. Brault made maybe a spot start, maybe not. We'll see where it goes from here. But his first start of the year, he only pitched in relief 4 times in the first 5 weeks of the season because they were in so many close games here in the early going. I thought he did well. He pitched 4 innings, and he still doesn't throw enough strikes for me to be a starter. But he did well. He got through 4 innings with 2 runs, and he would have pitched the 5th if not for the fact the Pirates loaded the bases, and they went for it with Melky Cabrera and came through. Cabrera hit a 2-run double to put him ahead 3-2, and that's a lead they ended up never relinquishing, even though it ended up 5-4. So, yeah, I think that's about the most you could have asked from Brault, especially after not pitching a whole lot since the end of spring training, and I thought, he did a pretty good job on the whole.
Yeah, he looked to me a little bit disappointed. I was watching him in the dugout. You could tell he didn't want to come out of the game, but he also understood you got to go for it.
Yeah.
You got the bases loaded.
Yeah.
Another guy that looked disappointed to me when he came out of the game was Adam Frazier. I did not expect. I saw Cole Tucker have his glove on and get ready to make a double switch of some kind, but I didn't expect Adam Frazier to be coming out of the ball game and Kevin Newman sliding over. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that was this way to decide to double switch it to get the pitcher as far down in the order as possible. Well, not down in the order, but away from the next time up as possible. Yeah, it's funny. Adam Frazier rarely shows any emotion, either good or bad. He's the same guy, and I couldn't see his reaction from the top of the stadium. But you telling me that's kind of interesting to see that he was a little bummed out about it.
I wouldn't say that it was like a expressive negativity, but he walked off, kind of had his lips in his mouth a bit, and you could tell maybe he wasn't all in favor of coming out of the game there, but. I know Cole Tucker I put out a tweet after the game, and he immediately quoted it and said that he and Kevin Newman have been looking for that moment for a long time.
Yeah.
And I could tell, going back to a spring training ago, those guys were right next to each other all spring training when I was down there. They were. They really enjoy each other. I thought it was fun to see the two of them. They connected on a double play. They got out of a bind.
They looked good. And, you can even go back further to minicamp in January. Tucker, and they weren't having game situations, just taking infield practice, but Tucker was at short and Newman was at second, and again, it's just ground balls and fungos, but you could see there was a little bit of chemistry there between those two guys, no doubt.